Alright, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how you can add some other characters to your game to help train the player on how to play the game. My main player here is the cycle, but I've added a Kodu over here and I've programmed him to talk to the main player. So I've done that by going to program, and I said when he bumps into cycle he's going to switch to page 2. I also have him glowing green to kind of draw attention to him so that when the player is driving by he can see him very easily. And on page 2 I have him say, it doesn't even have to say anything in front, it just says say, so it's going to happen automatically. Hey cycle, my name is Udok. I just spelled Kodu backwards. And it says in this game we'll be learning about mathematical properties. So it's kind of an introduction. This is the first time he's seen cycle, so he's going to tell him about what the game is about. I have the glow turn off then, so that he's not still glowing. And then after 20 seconds it's going to switch. It could go back to page 1, but then he would start glowing again. And I figure once he's talked to him once, he doesn't really need to keep glowing. In fact, we could even have him vanish if you wanted him to disappear after he's talked to him. So after a few seconds he could vanish. Instead I had him switch over to page 3. So it will restart if you bump into him again. It's going to go back to page 2 and he'll start talking again. But I put this 20-second timer on here so it doesn't keep happening over and over again. Now what a lot of people do is they say when you bump him, say something, but then every single time you bump him it keeps popping up and it can get really glitchy, and it keeps saying the same thing over and over again. So instead the way to fix that is to, when you bump cycle, that can be the beginning, but have that switch to a new page. He can say something and then it's going to wait 20 seconds before that bump can be redone. So that usually works really well to fix that problem. So that would be one way to kind of have a character help out, or at least introduce themselves. If you wanted to have a character actually help out with one of the problems or give some tips, I have another one over here, and this one's done very similar. When you bump Kodu, switch to page 2, it's going to glow green, and it's going to say something. It's going to turn the glow off, and then after 20 seconds it's going to go over to page 3, and if you bump them again it'll go back to page 2. In fact, the way I did this, I took my first Kodu that I had spent some time and I did all my programming on, and I just copied him and then put him somewhere else next to another coin so he could give a tip about this one, and I right clicked and I pasted. It's a great way to move your Kodus around and save yourself a lot of time with programming. Then all I had to do was just change what he says on page 2. So this is all still the same, and I just changed what he said. So that's a way that you can use different characters. You could use the same character over and over again, or different characters to help them out in the game.